people, we love to make things. To do it yourself. To DIY. In the attic, the basement, the backyard, and in front of a camera. And those camera DIYers, they've got something you'll like. From the TV studio to the studio apartment, they're making something up just for you. It's That DIY Show. Today...
Great question.
Viewer's Choice helps you show off your book collection. And from the Hive Mind, a magnetic idea for the living room. And later...
Words aren't going to win this building competition. Skillings.
She wants to bring the spice today? I'm about to bring the sauce for her to put it in. Next question.
Oh, electric sanders are for babies.
What? What?
Two battle builders get under each other's skin, and we go behind the curtain with a futuristic woodworker.
The biggest pivot I think my company took is when I got into laser engraving, because that's really a machine that can take my graphic design brain and my woodworker brain and really put them together.
A woodworker with laser focus and a whole lot more. But first, it's your questions and your projects on That DIY Show.
Hey, Viewer's Choice. So the stack of books on the back of my toilet is starting to look like it's going to tumble down on my head any second. It's getting scary to go to the bathroom. Do you have any nifty way to store books?
Great question. I know all about sketchy towers of toilet books. Every time! Okay, I have this cool book caddy build that's gonna keep you and your books safe, and it's not gonna put any holes in your wall. Maybe I should take my own advice this time. The best part about this project is that everything happens on the chop saw. And where would I be without a cut list? Now, it may seem a bit daunting to do them all at the start of the project, but you'll find out if you have all the lumber you need. And also, it allows you to focus on the remaining steps in the build instead of having to run back to the saw all the time. You having fun yet? We need these two pieces of wood to fit together like this, and we want them to be flush. I've added a sacrificial piece of wood here to allow me to cut square into the wood, and I've put a stop on the saw, so it only comes down exactly to the height we need. So let's get started. Check that out. So they fit together just like that. And that's your basic lap joint. All right, let's glue it up. Get some regular old wood glue. Just make sure the surfaces are all covered. Press them together. To take it up another notch, we'll clamp it also. This glue says it dries in 10 minutes, but I think that gives me enough time to finish off a book, right? All right, before we put this thing together, let's sand it smooth to help it take some stain. Kind of wish I had 6 hands to do this one. I have to put these angled pieces on the top and bottom of our X. Since I don't have 6 hands, I'm gonna use some clamps. I'm going with these really cool little trim screws, and not only will they hold it together really strong, but they basically disappear. You can barely see the head. This turned out great. Now I just have to make one more. Looks great. Okay, now I have to put the bottom shelves on. This little pocket jig is great. Not only does it hold the board up for you, it allows you to position your hole in the exact same spot every time. It gives you the exact same angle on every hole, and this little thing gives you the exact depth for every hole. All you have to do is move the board and everything else will be the same. Okay, that was fast, but this thing will probably go together even faster. I'm gonna put the bottom shelf on first, and I'm gonna do that with these little pocket head screws. They kind of have a washer built into them so they don't sink into the wood. They stay exactly where you want them. And they look pretty cool too. Okay, it's actually starting to look like it could hold some books now. We just have a few more pieces to put on and it'll be ready to stain. All it needs now is a coat of stain. It makes this thing look like it's from an old library, which is perfect because it's basically a library for your bathroom. You may not have all these fancy tools at home. Doesn't matter. All you need is just a little bit of creativity. Just track down the Viewer's Choice team in the streets and submit your question. Always happy to help out.
We've got hands and we've got plans. What more do you need? It's That DIY Show. Around the world and right around the corner, DIYers and master crafters have something to show and a story to tell. It's That DIY Show.
I'm Chris Smith, and what am I? I'm a lot of things. I've had a busy 45 years so far, because I'm a photographer, graphic designer, and woodworker all at once. What sets me aside from a lot of other people who do woodworking is my graphic design and photography background. Visual arts is a huge part of my woodworking. I've also worked with graffiti artists and people like that too, applying that to tables and things like that. I literally design most furniture and things like that in Photoshop first, and then move to the workshop. Previously, before this was even going to be a company, I just wanted some nicer furniture. I lived in a beige landlord box for 7.5 years, and then I moved into a renovated church that was turned into apartments. Suddenly I have cathedral windows, 100-year-old bricks all around me, and my crappy furniture no longer suited the place. So I just started making some furniture on my own, just for fun. And at the end of making 3 pieces of furniture, a lot of people were like, you should consider selling pieces. Might be something to this. So next thing I know, I'm running a new company. And at that point, didn't even have a name. Didn't even know I was starting a company. I was just trying to make rent. What is Jampy? Where does this come from? Well, it comes from my great-grandfather. My cousins couldn't say Grampy. They mispronounced it. He was known as Jampy then for the rest of his life. I started asking family about some of these stories, kind of going, were these things you just told me as a kid? Or was he actually this guy? Grabbed his axe and took out the moose. Whoomp, put in telephone poles by himself. lick his finger, stick it in the socket, and that's how he would test sockets. So yeah, he was a beast of a man. He was very old school, but new school simultaneously. The company I started in the beginning was very much reclaimed wood and things like that, but then designing them to look like very new, straight line furniture. So the company itself was a mix of old and new, so it also just suited, you know, his character. The biggest pivot I think my company took is when I got into laser engraving. Because that's really a machine that can take my graphic design brain and my woodworker brain and really put them together. It's really helped my production, my speed. I think the products that I'm best known for are my sea flakes, which I designed a little over 3 years ago. They are all over the planet at this point. They're really small and they ship easily. So every time I do a craft show or something like that, someone comes up to me and says, yeah, I sent a set to Norway last year. I sent some to Japan. A huge part of the inspiration and why it matters was to build things that can be repaired and things that will last and things that the products of what it's made out of are easily sourced too and renewable. You know, I'm building stuff primarily out of trees. And you know, as long as we do a decent job of managing the planet, we'll always have some. It's not just DIY, but there's a craft and more of a local hand to it than when you buy something from, you know, whatever other country is mass produced. Meeting people at craft shows, giving hugs and high fives everywhere I go. Very happy about it. There's no question. It's nice. It's a decent life. I've got no complaints there.
From the workshop to the studio floor, we've got our eyes on the prize. It's That DIY Show. We're moments away from the main event, another head-to-head battle build.
It's time to see who will rise above and take home the golden hammer.
I'm Hubert McTurnish.
And I'm George McGibbons.
Let's saunter on over and meet our competitors.
My name is Jeremy Holmes. Well, I was a carpenter for quite a few years. I've been around the block a couple of times. I'm up against Terry, competitive grandmother. I'm generally just a good sport and a good person. When we shook hands this morning, I looked at him and I thought, I'm gonna tear you limb from limb.
Jeremy enjoys performing children's music, traveling, writing and illustrating children's books, and his hobby as a marine industrial electrical apprentice.
I'm Terry Smith-Fraser, and I work in community theater with props and wardrobe, and I'm a do-it-yourself enthusiast. I'm up against this tall, kind of snobby artisan carpenter today, so we'll see how it goes.
Terry enjoys making travel videos, blogging, acting in indie film, working props and wardrobe in theater, and beginner carpentry projects.
I'm really just excited to watch the tears stream down her face when she loses.
Got some 2x4s for you here, baby. Come on, let's go.
You're just wood builder. That hammer is mine. That golden hammer. Swing one of those at me. I'll double dick.
Words aren't going to win this building competition.
Interesting.
Skill is.
She wants to bring the spice today. I'm about to bring the sauce for her to put it in. Next question. Huh? I love you too. No. You guide me. You guide me. We're gonna be okay.
Today on Battle Build, you'll be building a spice rack of your own design. It's an open field, only limited by your materials and your time limit. 1 measly hour to complete your project.
That looks easy.
Does it?
Pine, a sheet of pressboard, a few dowels, and whatever tools they find laying around the studio. These two will really have to work hard to create something original.
Or extra spicy.
Oh, you're so good at the jokes!
Thanks, buddy. Ready, set, build!
All right. I got this. Nope, you're going down.
Huh. I usually expect the beginnings of these battles to be more battle-y.
I like to pepper my ideas with a little bit of joy. I hope my rack doesn't rub you the wrong way.
I need something that can make the wood different lengths. Then...
I got this.
Chalkboard paint. It's gonna be so much better than his. Hey,
Hey, Jeremy, buddy.
Hiya,
You are
pal.
working really hard.
Yeah, I know. Well, I want this to look really good.
You probably need a break. Why don't you go get me a cup of tea and get yourself a cup of coffee while you're there?
What? Okay, I will go get a cup of coffee for you or her.
Thanks.
Me.
I appreciate it.
Realizing she has no idea what she's doing, I thought, I want to help you out here. So I was cool. Real cool.
Turmeric.
A tea for you, my liege. I want to do something for you. I'll feel bad for you later when you lose.
Oh, let's get an instant replay.
The what? What? Oh, it tastes like my brother's old apartment. It tasted like old feet, like a woolen sock covered in dog hair. Is this a South American bean?
Holy crap. Made a little bit of a mess there. Is your project going okay?
It was. It's I know what to do. It's going really good. When I saw the golden shine through, and since there was no blood in the mix, it was breathtaking. Whoa. Look at how yellow this is. There will come in a time when you regret putting turmeric in my coffee. You know, at first I was worried, but not so much anymore.
This is so good. So good.
Agreed.
Now that Jeremy has his color picked, he's ready to assemble.
And without test fitting, Terry's just jumping right into gluing and pinning to make sure her piece doesn't fall apart.
Seems like the studio could use some gluing and pinning.
Set these rebates into my pine here so I could.
Rebates? I get them at the grocery store.
Sure you would, yeah. I don't know what it is. I just keep cutting this backing piece wrong. I feel like I want to spit my coffee out all over again. Once I started fouling up those cuts, I kind of felt she was going to pull out ahead. But then I looked over at her and I thought, I'm fine. This time I am going to do this properly. Yes.
Fanciness working out over there now? I don't know if I'd call it a risk, but I went with something a little unconventional from your regular spice rack. Jeremy,
Yellow.
can you help me? Can you get that out? Oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome. I live to give. Could you help me get this bandsaw out? Just out in front of the drills there.
There.
Thanks, Terry.
No
You
problem.
can get back to your holes now. I got one fantastic trick up my sleeve.
Oh, yeah? Can't wait to see what that is.
Yeah, me too.
What is that?
Crafted by hand.
Pregnant woman laying down?
Yes. It's two pregnant women laying down.
The judges are sure to like Jeremy's more intricate design, but it's more work.
Oh, more work when you have oregano time leafed.
Stay in your lane, George.
Oh, electric sanders are for babies.
What? What? What?
Seems like Terry's finally getting under Jeremy's skin.
I don't buy it. He drank turmeric. He'll be fine. Finally, Terry's adding some much needed color to this project.
Yeah, this is gonna have to do.
That squeak tells you that my holes are always tight.
That's some pretty impressive dowel control.
Here's what I think of your dowels.
Why? Well, this is looking pretty tight. Just gonna have to glue it and then nail it together and then claim my golden hammer. Let's do this.
Closing in with only 30 seconds on the clock, these two have mere moments to finish their designs.
Thank God for the pinner.
You feel a little toasty? You feel that pressure?
Finally putting the back on his rack, Jeremy pins it in place, while Terry finishes painting her holes.
This race is as tight as Jeremy's dowels.
And that's tight. With only 10 seconds left on the clock, the tension is rising as fast as my blood pressure.
Go see a doctor.
Cool down.
You finished over there, Jeremy?
I couldn't be more finished. Completely finished. How was your cube of black holes?
Awesome. All finished. I'm good.
First, let's take a look at Jeremy's rack. With a lovely turmeric yellow stain and expert doweling, this rack has a certain rustic charm. Something out of a grandparent's cabin, despite a patchy headpiece and a completely blank backboard.
No one's gonna see that anyway. And then there's Terry's project with a do-it-yourself arts and crafts feel. It has a certain charm, especially with its chalkboard paint and chalk names, although the spice bottles ended up being longer than the rack itself.
Who needs
I
dowels?
thought I was gonna have really loose dowels, but my dowels are actually really tight. I'm glad that I didn't have
Tighten those in.
loose dowels on the show.
Here we go. Here we go.
Will it be Terry's weird rectangle of black holes?
Or will it be Jeremy's rustic turmeric rack of tight dowels?
Yeah!
What? No!
Yeah!
This is horse feathers! I want to recount! Recount!
Woo! In your face, Jeremy! In your face! I won! Woohoo! Oh, yeah.
Terry Smith Frazier, winner of the Golden Hammer. 100% pure gold.
Hooray! I'm the loser. I'm gonna drag that ridiculous gold hammer home in my Hyundai Elantra.
I won because my spice rack was the best.
Her particle board just laid on top of the frame like. What?
It's probably the greatest thing I've ever won. Like I still can't believe it. Like I can't believe that I actually won it.
Thanks for watching Battle Build. I'm Hubert McTarnish.
And I'm George McGibbons.
Until next time, keep your tools sharp.
And your nose to the grindstone.